His Grace Jagdish Prabhu and Her Grace Jugalpriti Mataji. Give her a huge round of applause, everyone. So both of them are very esteemed Vedic scholars, and they are founders of Bhakti Vedanta Academy in Mayapur, India. How many of you have been to Mayapur? Okay. So they moved to Mayapur in 2009, and after 12 years of intensive studies of Vedic literature, they founded this Bhakti Vedanta Academy there. Now this academy aims to provide God-centric education to everyone. Thank you to Vishakha Mataji and Punashram Prabhu for welcoming our esteemed guest. And so, this institution provides holistic education to everyone, focusing on God-centric values and focusing on deeper studies of Vedic lives in our, day-to-day life. Now, I am personally very intrigued, and I want to know what happens at the academy, how things happen, and if you have questions, you can ask them later as well. But for now, today's seminar is going to be on the divisions of faith. So let's give them a huge Hari Bol. Put your hands up in the air, everyone, and say Hari Bol. Okay, coming all the way from Mayapur to India, it's a 14-hour direct flight. If not that, then you have to take a layover and come. So we should give them really ecstatic Hari Bol and a welcome. Put your hands up in the air and say Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Over to you,
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll chant Jai Radha Madhava, and then we'll read from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay? Please chant loudly, please chant with your heart. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपागतमयं ददाति स्वापनक्षिकं वंशकपदरुभ्यश्च कृपसिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। I guess we need Bhagavad Gita in English. Is it okay to read from a phone? Is it okay? Okay, we'll read from a phone.
So we are going, it's much better, easier. We are going to read from the Bhagavad Gita, as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada Ki.
Jai!
17.4. There was a mistake. They said 17.2. But divisions of faith described in 17.4. I read Sanskrit myself, then translation and the purport. Yajanti satvika devam yaksharashamsi rajasa pretan buddha ganamscharye yajanti tamasa janai. Is it okay? Everyone can hear? Okay. No echo? You only hear the echo. Anyway, synonyms: yajanti, worship; satvika, those who are in the mode of goodness; devan, demigods; yaksharaksamsi, demons; rajasaha, those who are in the mode of passion; pretan, spirits of the dead; bhutaganan, ghosts; cha, and aniya, others; yajante, worship; tamasa, in the mode of ignorance; janai, people. Translation and portrait by His Divine Grace Prabhupada. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Further, in this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead describes different kinds of worshippers according to their external activities. According to scriptural injunction, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. But those who are not very conversant with or faithful to the scriptural injunctions worship different objects according to their specific situations in the modes of material nature. Those who are situated in goodness generally worship the demigods. The demigods include Brahma, Shiva, and others, such as Indra, Chandra, and the Sun God. These are various demigods. Those in goodness worship a particular demigod for a particular purpose. Similarly, those who are in the mode of passion worship the demons. We recall that during the Second World War, America worshipped Hitler because thanks to that war, he had amassed a large amount of wealth by dealing in the black market. Similarly, those in the mode of passion and ignorance generally select a powerful man to be God. They think that anyone can be worshipped as God and that the same results will be obtained. Now, it is clearly described here that those who are in the mode of passion worship and create such gods, and those who are in the mode of ignorance and darkness worship dead spirits. Sometimes people worship at the tomb of the dead man. Sexual service is also considered to be in the mode of darkness. Similarly, in remote villages in India, there are worshippers of gods, ghosts. We have seen that in India, the lower class people sometimes go to the forest, and if they have knowledge that the ghost lives in the tree, they worship that tree and offer sacrifices. These different kinds of worship are not actually God worship. God worship is for persons who are transcendently situated in pure goodness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23 it is said, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktitam. When a man is situated in pure goodness, he worships Vasudeva. The purport is that those who are completely purified of the material modes of nature and who are transcendently situated can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship 5 kinds of demigods. They worship the impersonal Vishnu form in the material world, which is known as philosophized Vishnu. Vishnu is the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the impersonalists, because they do not ultimately believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine that the Vishnu form is just another aspect of the impersonal Brahman. Similarly, they imagine that Lord Brahma is the impersonal form in the material mode of passion. Thus, they sometimes describe 5 kinds of gods that are worshipable, but because they think that the actual truth is impersonal Brahman, they dispose of all worshipable objects at the ultimate end. In conclusion, the different qualities of the material modes of nature can be purified through association with persons who are of transcendental nature. I read again the translation. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
Hare Krishna. So first of all, we would like to thank all of you for coming here this Saturday night, and it's a pleasure and it's a big honor to be here. I was here in 1996 for Srila Prabhupada's centennial, and it's a glory of Srila Prabhupada actually that such places exist in the West. And for his pleasure and for the pleasure of the deities and for your pleasure, we would like to say a few words. We picked this particular verse, and the chapter is called Divisions of Faith. And if you think about it, obviously we don't have much time for a deep discussion, but what we will try to do is we'll give you an idea, we'll give you a direction, and then you can think about it, you can meditate, and you can also discuss it with your friends, with your family members. This is what is called Sadhu Sangha, because usually people work in the world and it's very busy. Toronto is a very busy place. Not as busy as Mayapur, I have to admit. But we feel very connected because Mayapur, it's every day just like this. Like Sunday in Toronto Temple, Mayapur every day is like this. It's packed and people blissfully worshipping Radha Madhava, Panchatattva, Sri Prahlad Nishingadev, Srila Prabhupada. So connection is there, but we want to deepen that connection. And of course, Bhagavad Gita, being a basic book of our tradition, explains it all. And if you think just for a second, everything we do, even subconsciously, it's by faith only. Because if we don't believe that getting up from a bed in the morning will bring us any benefit, we won't do that. Correct? So here, on a very deep level, Krishna explains how it all works. And we know that certain nations, I don't want to mention names because we want to be politically correct today. We don't want to scare anybody, especially in the West. It's dangerous. So some nations, they worship ghosts and spirits, right? And it's a bona fide worship, but here Krishna says it's in the mode of darkness. It's in the mode of ignorance. And sure enough, in India, everybody worships somebody. Is that right? Yeah? You walk in a store, you see Lakshmi, you see grandfather, you see Durga, you see Ganapati. Ganapati's gotta be there, because he removes the obstacles, etc., etc. Actually, our tradition is very ancient, and in terms of worship, it's the most developed. Here I can say that, yeah, no offense. So, and we have 33 crores major demigods. Means there are more, but 33 crore just major. So we have to understand whom actually are we worshipping. And here we worship Gaur-Nitai, Kirachora Gopinath, and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So for a layman who walks into the temple, he looks, wow, this is Hinduism, this is good, this is colorful, and Prashana will be served soon, so, they'll get the whole experience. But we worship one, only one. But on the altar we see many. So we have to harmonize it, isn't it? Yeah, and some people, they think, wow, this is great, this is Gaur-Nitai, this is from Bengal, then North India, Radha Krishna, and then Orissa, right, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So, Shripad Chakravarti, he actually in one verse, he summarizes, he's the first one after Lord Chaitanya's appearance who gave Gaudiya commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. You probably never heard about him, he's not that famous. It's not Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his name is Shripad Chakravarti. Doesn't matter. So he says, Aradya Bhagavan Prajeshatanaya Stardama Brindamana Ramya Kachidupasana Vraja Bhagavargena Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartamaham Sichitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradara Naparaha. So he gives us Sambandha Videya and Prayojana. So we worship Aradya Bhagavan Prajeshatanaya. He's the son of Nanda Baba, Kirachora. So we worship him, only one. Then we see many. And here in Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna mentions, and it's a general description. Yeah, but Brahma Samhita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they go into detail. So Srila Prabhupada also gave us the line how to study scripture. And he said first, Bhagavad Gita, that's the basic level of education. Because Prabhuji kindly introduced us, and he said we have a school, and actually we do. It's all in Russian language, so you won't be able to understand anything, but just believe it as it is. Again, we're talking about faith, yeah? So, the first level, and it's very important, very basic level, and it's Bhagavad Gita. It's relatively small book, 700 verses only, 18 chapters, right? Then, there's a study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. So and Bhagavatam opens up and gives all the details about Krishna. And it is mentioned, Edacham Sakalah Pumsa Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. Indralivya Kulamukam Ridayanti Yudevya. So he's only one, he's the supreme. Tu Bhagavan Swayam. There's no other. Others worship. We'll talk about that later. By the way, I don't see the clock. So I have to know what's the time. Is it 7 already? Oh my God. Time's flying, huh? Anyway, Krishna says in the Gita, time I am, the destroyer of the world. Correct? So we're fearful, right? But we're fearful of the time, but we're not fearful of Krishna. Because Krishna is the protector, he's the maintainer, and he's the enjoyer. So, here it is mentioned 3 basic kinds of worship. Worship of the demigods, which is in the mode of goodness. Worship of the ghosts and spirits, which is in the mode of darkness. And then worship of the demons, right? And Srila Prabhupada gives his personal example. Some people worship Hitler, right? And then, because war is a big business, we don't want to discuss that. Because before India, we lived in the Middle East, and there's always some kind of war is going on there. But what we have to understand is that we worship only one, Jagannath, Mahaprabhu, and Krishna, they one. But many forms. Many forms. Ramadi Murti Shukalanya Menatishta Nanavatar Makarot Bhuvaneshakimtu. Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanya. Govindamadi Purushantamanam Rajani. Right? This is mentioned in Brahma Samhita by Brahmaji himself. So there, because Srila Prabhupada in the last part of this purport mentions that they are Pancha Upasana, and some uneducated people say that it was established by Sripad Shankaracharya. But it's not true, because Brahma Samhita mentions all worship of the 5. Durga Ma, then Surya, then Ganapati, then Shivaji, and then Vishnu. So it was always there, but Sripad Shankaracharya, while he came, and he was actually his opposition, they were Mimamsakas and Buddhists. So he re-established it, but it was always there. So we shouldn't think it just happened. Because this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Raja Vidya Raja Gurya, Pavitram Idam Uttama Pratyaksharaganam Damyam, Susukam Kartum Avyaya, it is beyond time and space. Right? It's always relevant. Some news we read today, tomorrow is irrelevant. Some gossip we see on the Facebook, it's juicy, but then tomorrow is gone. It's a new gossip, right? But this is eternal, and it gives immediate happiness. Susukam kartum, and not only external happiness, but the happiness of the soul. It's internal. We always carry that happiness. Correct? So there's Pancha Upasana, and for the last 2 weeks, we were speaking to the Russian community here in Toronto about 2 things. We had 2 topics. We had 5 levels of consciousness, and we had the culture, the Vedic culture. And of course, it's a very vast topic, but here we just would like to mention that Krishna is one, and we worship, it's exclusive. It's Kevala. We follow that. And if we do that, then Krishna will be pleased. And all the demigods, the 33 crores of demigods that I've mentioned, and the main ones we all know, and the Pancha Upasana, there are 5 ones, and we can actually harmonize them according to the 5 levels of consciousness. But I think everybody is a bit tired for that kind of philosophy, right? But maybe if you have any questions, because 7:10, is that right? We have to finish. So maybe we'll. Is it what time? By what time we have to finish? Can anybody say? 7:10. Yeah, that's what I thought. So if anybody has any questions, please don't be shy. Can hear. Now it's only 7 o'clock. Okay?
Because we have a school, we are used to questions. Then we can understand what's important here and what's really is interesting, because we are new here, you are the new audience, We can say many things, but it might be not relevant or just theoretical. And the most important thing that Srila Prabhupada wanted us to do is to make Krishna consciousness practical for our life. Because he said there are so many religions, we don't need another one. I'm sure you all, to some extent, familiar with Hinduism. But Krishna consciousness is not Hinduism, I'm very sorry. But still, it's a lifestyle. Lifestyle, first of all, is based on philosophical understanding. We have to have not only principles that we follow, because we try to do that, but we have to have the understanding why we do that. Why there are so many people who don't want to take their own religion. Second generation, what they're doing, we are from the Jewish background. And Jews, they follow their religion, but there are many who they're not rebellious, but they just don't follow. They remain Jews. What can you do? That's your party. But they don't follow because nobody actually can answer their questions because they're only rituals, nothing behind them. And Krishna consciousness, what Srila Prabhupada came to give us, he came to give us philosophy and the way of life. That's why when we say that there are panchopasanas and there are people in the different modes of nature, we tend to think that we are transcendental. But unfortunately, not yet. And we still continue to live our life according to the mix of modes that we have at the moment. And to be able to connect it to Krishna consciousness, we have to know how to do that. Because we do come to the temple, we hopefully offer our food, we chant Hare Krishna, hopefully at home, hopefully in the quieter environment, giving our time to that. We do kirtans, but why we do this? For whom? What's the main purpose? When we come and when everything is exciting, it seems everything is Krishna consciousness. But as time goes by, we get used to it, habituated, it becomes a routine. Routine is not Krishna consciousness. We just come from one routine to another. We had one routine, now we have another one. Those who are more pious, they have the same routine, now they have the same routine, nothing to change. So where is Krishna? Because if we don't do it purely, without how Rupa Goswami describes pure devotional service and nectar of devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Anyabhyalasi Shunya, Jnana Karmalya Navrita, Anukulyena, Krishna, Anushivanam, Bhaktir Uttama.
So it means it has to be directed towards Krishna and in the way he likes it. Of course, it should be free from karma and jnana. It means it has to be pure and it has to be done with love. So we have to be conscious of what we are doing. Means philosophy is there to explain to us how to live our life in this material world and to achieve the highest goal. Highest goal we all know, yes? Prema Pumarti Mahan. But sometimes it's too far. Like in India, usually people, if you approach them, and they're not yet Krishna conscious, and they're not familiar with Iskcon, they say, when I retire, I'll become a devotee. Isn't it? Because that's easy, that's sometime in the future. Srila Prabhupada, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Srila Prabhupada that it's very important to become Krishna conscious, now what did he say? India has to be independent first. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no time. When there's fire, everyone can understand what's going on, everyone can help. Means now we think what? We have to establish ourselves. I guess everyone is kind of an immigrant, first, second, third generation, whatever. We have to find our place, we have to educate the kids, we have to take care of our parents. Means we have a busy life. Then where is Krishna? How can we achieve the highest goal without paying attention all the time to the details of achieving their goal. Because if somebody wants to get a good degree in a good university, they have to study. It doesn't happen by miracle. Same in Krishna consciousness. If we are dynamic, we all wait for what? Kripa. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada said Kripa. But at the same time, he said that we are sadhakas. Sadhana bhakti means Vaidhi. Vaidhi means rules. And here we come again. We do those rules, we follow them, not because we have to, that's sadhana, that's Vaidhi. But we want to love Krishna. When we feel inspired, like I heard that you have those big kirtans when Madhava comes and many other kirtanis come, then it's back. Now it's full, but I guess it's more full. And then it means there is taste. When there is taste, there is absorption. When there is absorption, then we can touch on Krishna consciousness. Then we can touch on what's taste. When there is no absorption, usually there is no taste, then we rely on what is ours, and what we can rely on. It means modes of nature. And then we come back to divisions of faith. Because we sometimes worship Krishna, but actually we worship Durga. Because what we want, because it's Shakti, we want something for ourselves. Sometimes we want something on a higher level, a little bit. Then, like it says that those who are into healthy lifestyle, they do jogging, healthy eating, all this is Surya. Surya Dharma. If we into Dharma, then who's that? Ganapati. If we into renunciation, we want to be on Vijnanamaya, means Shiva. And the last one, who's the last one?
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Means Vishnu. But it's not Krishna yet. It's not Krishna yet. So it means that we have to understand how on each and every level we still worship Krishna. By what? By the mood that we are doing that. Srila Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is very easy. Chant, dance, eat prasad. That's easy. But it's easy on what level? On a very high level. What to do day-to-day life. How can it become easy? And how can we bring life into our life of Krishna consciousness? And Srila Prabhupada said, he said that we have to have satsanga. Because if there are people who are enthusiastic and enlightened about Krishna consciousness, they can infuse us with that enthusiasm. That's why kirtans, satsang, katha, that's what gives us life. If we think that we can do it on our own, chanting in the car, after work, before work, in the middle of the work, it's not dynamic enough. So we have to understand what to do to make our Krishna consciousness more dynamic. We have to work on it. Nobody will do it for us. We do wait for miracles, but sometimes we miss those miracles. That's the problem. I guess I overdid already.
Maybe one question you'd like to ask, please.
I was just going to ask you to summarize what you mean by the 5 levels or 5 divisions of faith, but you just did very briefly. And it's a very interesting way of looking at it, because people generally think that when you come to Iskcon, you have to reject everything else. And that kind of puts off many people, because they think, oh, you're just running after Krishna. What about Ganpati? What about Lord Shiva? How can you reject? So your explanation actually brings everything back together. So thank you so much. That was a very, very nice way of presenting. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Can you all be seated, everyone? Can you all be seated? So let's give a huge Haribol to our speakers for today. Give them Haribol! 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 So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for being with us today. your Vedic experience and your Vedic knowledge. And of course, we look forward to any questions if you have regarding the Bhaktivedanta Academy, you can ask them. Okay, I'll make quick announcements, so please pay your attention. Yeah, you have a question? Yeah, can you now speak to them later? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so how many of you are visiting us for the first time? Anyone